The open highway is universally perceived as a symbol of routine. We strap ourselves into our cars, completely trusting that the painted lines on the asphalt will protect us from the raw, terrifying physics of massive, speeding vehicles. But on July 5th, 2026, in the Quang Tri region of Vietnam, the absolute fragility of this safety was caught on camera. A colossal tractor trailer was navigating what should have been a standard everyday curve on the road, but excessive speed combined with the immense, unpredictable weight of its cargo turned the massive machine into an uncontrollable heavy weapon. The driver lost command of the beast. As the tires screamed against the pavement, the laws of gravity aggressively took over. The colossal rear container began to tip. It hovered in the air for a deeply terrifying, agonizing fraction of a second, defying gravity, before violently crashing down into the opposite lane. It instantly struck an oncoming truck, creating a horrific, deafening scene of twisted, shattered metal. The sheer force of the impact should have been entirely fatal. Yet by some miraculous stroke of sheer luck, local authorities reported that the horrifying collision resulted only in severe material damage. No lives were lost on that treacherous curve, but the chilling footage remains a stark reminder of how quickly momentum and gravity can take complete, fatal control of our lives. Water possesses a dark, ancient, and unforgiving mystery. Beneath the calm, rippling surface lies a world where humans are completely stripped of their dominance. We are not the apex predators there. In Banyasan, Indonesia, this terrifying reality claimed a young life in the absolute blink of an eye. A 25-year-old boat repair worker had accompanied his friends to the edge of a deep, murky river. Their vessel was damaged. Without a single moment of hesitation, the young man jumped into the dark water to assist them. His friends were right there beside him, inches away, treading the exact same water. But then, the atmosphere completely shifted. In a matter of seconds, the young man vanished beneath the surface. There was no desperate struggle, no frantic splashing, no final gasping cry for help. The dark, opaque water simply swallowed him whole in absolute silence. Authorities believed that an unseen massive crocodile had silently stalked the group from below the murky depths. What makes this encounter deeply psychological and profoundly terrifying is the cold, calculated precision of the beast. It completely bypassed the other people in the water, isolating its target and dragging him down into the lightless depths without making a sound, is a chilling testament to the unseen monsters that patiently hunt in the dark. The transportation of immense wealth transforms an ordinary vehicle into an invisible, highly dangerous target. In San Pedro, Paraguay, a routine cash transit quickly escalated into a violent, high-stakes battle for sheer survival. The driver of a heavily armored truck was tasked with moving over $1 million in precious cargo. The road was desolate, quiet, but as the massive vehicle navigated the stretch of highway, a highly organized group of heavily armed attackers launched a vicious, calculated ambush. They emerged from the shadows, weapons drawn, fully prepared to take the fortune and the lives of the guards inside. Inside the armored cabin, the tension was suffocating. In that critical, heart-stopping moment, the driver had to make a split-second decision between surrender and violent survival. Recognizing the imminent, fatal danger, he firmly slammed his foot on the accelerator. Using the immense heavy bulk of the armored truck as a blunt battering ram, he aggressively smashed right through the attacker's blockade vehicle. The terrifying metallic crunch of the collision cleared his path, sending the ambushers scattering. He drove relentlessly, fueled by pure adrenaline, until he reached the absolute safety of a nearby police station. He escaped the deadly cartel completely unharmed, proving that sometimes the only way out is straight through. We constantly try to command and mold the earth to our liking. We dig tunnels, we carve out mountains, and we build cities on top of fault lines. But nature always reclaims its space, and when it does, the destruction is absolute and completely merciless. In Wanad, India, a towering pile of excavated soil had been carelessly left at a massive tunnel construction site. Despite repeated urgent warnings from officials to clear the highly dangerous accumulation, the arrogant contractor ignored the orders. Then, the sky opened up. Heavy, relentless rainfall began to pound the region, slowly transforming the solid, towering earth into a terrifyingly unstable liquid weapon. Without a single moment of warning, the entire hillside suffered a catastrophic structural failure. A colossal, suffocating wave of heavy mud, rock, and debris violently collapsed onto the active roadway below. The sheer, unstoppable, kinetic force of the landslide completely swept away a massive fuel tanker, tossing the heavy vehicle as if it were a hollow plastic toy. But the true, horrifying tragedy lay buried beneath the surface. Several innocent workers were instantly engulfed and buried alive under thousands of pounds of suffocating mud. Authorities confirmed that at least 3 people tragically lost their lives in the crushing darkness. It is a grim reality that human negligence can instantly become a fatal, uncontrollable disaster. Sometimes, the delicate difference between an ordinary, forgettable day and a tragic, violent end comes down to a single panicked shout. In Taoyuan, Taiwan, a family was taking a drive along a quiet, winding mountain road. For several consecutive days, the entire region had been brutally battered by heavy, unforgiving rain. The steep slopes towering above the highway were deeply saturated and incredibly unstable. As the father drove, the environment seemed perfectly calm. But from the passenger seat, the sharp eyes of his son noticed the terrifying truth. The earth above them was beginning to violently fracture and slide. Driven by pure, unfiltered survival instinct, the son screamed at the top of his lungs for his father to hit the brakes. The tires violently screeched against the wet pavement, bringing the vehicle to an abrupt, jarring halt. Mere seconds later, the entire face of the towering mountain gave way. A massive, devastating landslide crashed directly onto the asphalt, completely burying the exact spot their car would have occupied just a moment later. The terrifying, chilling realization that they were only inches away from being completely crushed under tons of impenetrable rock left the entire family in deep, paralyzing shock. A single second was the only thing standing between them and the grave. There is absolutely no greater horror in this world than a massive tragedy that could have been easily avoided, especially when innocent, trusting lives are at stake. In Mukono, Uganda, a large school bus was carrying over 70 children on what was supposed to be a joyful, memorable field trip. As the heavy bus approached a highly dangerous railway crossing, a desperate police officer stepped out, frantically signaling for the driver to stop. The massive, unstoppable, crushing weight of an oncoming train was rapidly approaching the intersection. The warning was clear. The danger was absolute. But for a completely inexplicable, infuriating reason, the driver blatantly ignored the desperate warnings. He pushed the pedal down and drove directly into the fatal path of the speeding train. The catastrophic collision was instantaneous and deeply, profoundly horrifying. The train violently slammed into the side of the bus, instantly transforming the vehicle into a chaotic, terrifying nightmare of twisted, shredded metal. A dedicated, loving teacher tragically lost her life on impact, and dozens of young, helpless students suffered severe, life-altering injuries. Adding a deeply disturbing and cowardly layer to the tragedy, the driver pulled himself from the smoking wreckage and immediately fled into the unknown, abandoning the innocent children he was trusted to protect. Fire is not just a chemical reaction, it is an entity, a living, breathing monster that completely consumes, devours, and obliterates everything in its destructive path. In the United States, the state of Utah experienced one of the most terrifying apocalyptic infernos in its entire recorded history. A massive, roaring wildfire, believed by authorities to be entirely human-caused, erupted and spread with an unstoppable, terrifying velocity. Driven by fierce, howling winds, the towering wall of flames completely swallowed the landscape, turning the bright daytime sky into a dark, suffocating, blood-red canopy. The sheer magnitude of the destruction was completely incomprehensible to the human mind. The relentless, roaring inferno scorched nearly 100,000 acres of once beautiful land. It aggressively tore through a highly popular ski resort, completely incinerating its massive main lodge into a pile of glowing embers. The fire showed absolutely no mercy, destroying over 100 condominiums, 30 private, secluded cabins, and more than 150 separate structures. Miraculously, a massive, desperate evacuation effort ensured that everyone managed to escape the roaring flames safely. But the horrific, apocalyptic visual of an entire mountain burning in the night serves as a grim, unforgettable reminder of the devastating, world-ending power unleashed by just a single, careless spark. When we watch these incredibly chaotic moments unfold on our screens, our minds desperately try to rationalize them. We sit in our safe, brightly lit rooms and try to convince ourselves that these terrifying events could never happen to us. We believe that our lives are somehow magically insulated from such absolute random devastation. But the sheer reality captured in these documented records tells a vastly different, deeply unsettling story. They prove, without a doubt, that we share our world with unstoppable, indifferent forces that operate entirely by their own chaotic rules. Whether you're driving on a quiet, empty highway, standing near the murky edge of a river, or simply existing in your own peaceful community, remember that safety is just a temporary state of mind. The world we live in is undeniably beautiful, but it is also completely, ruthlessly unforgiving. Thank you for tuning in to Chilling Records. Keep your eyes open, stay vigilant, and never ever turn your back on the unknown.